One conversation that has taken the internet by storm today is that Mamdani won on this huge promise to make everything affordable, some things even free, which is ironic because now he is begging for your money, and you would not believe just how much money he has raised in over 24 hours. We have the numbers here. It is insane. And while all this is going on, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, and Marjorie Taylor Greene are fighting for their lives because President Trump is out here saying that the cost of groceries are down, essentially gaslighting the majority of Americans who feel that they are not. And we need to talk about it. So welcome back to the Adam C. Moreno Show. Please like, subscribe, and let's jump right in. We need to start here because this is just unbelievable. Zohran did not wait a single day until he started begging for money. Yes, after winning on the promises of affordability. Look at this.
Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you'll make a donation at transition.
Wait a second. Why the heck do you want my money? I thought everything was supposed to be free because you said you were going to tax the top 1%, those who made more than $1 million a year. So you know what? It does feel like we're getting off to the wrong foot here, buddy. The person who shared this wrote, "The grift is almost impressive if it wasn't so shameless. Almost as if nothing is ever actually free." Huh. What a concept. You know what? I saw this meme too. Look at this. 1 minute before the polls close, elect me and everything will be free. The next minute, thank you for electing me. Now send me money for my transition team. It's like not even a meme because it's just true. And it is ridiculous. And look at how much money he has made in just over a day. Look at this. Nick Garber writes that Mamdani's transition committee raised $500,000 in its first 30 hours from over 7,000 donations, his campaign tells me. Look at that. And you know this is true because Mamdani just reposted it with some eye emojis. So look at that. He is being handed the keys to the biggest city in the country. And it kind of feels like he's just, rolling the dice a little bit. But you know what? It's okay. It's edgy. It's a very millennial. But this is what the people voted for. So I guess this is the game. Some people aren't willing to play that game though, okay? Because Tucker Carlson just mentioned that one of his kids decided that they're not willing to stay there anymore because of Mamdani. Take a look at this.
Biggest city, it's 8 million people. Cities are incredibly complex organisms, take centuries to build. My ancestors helped build New York, by the way, but can be destroyed very, very quickly. Look at Johannesburg, 30 years and it's a husk. It's a joke, and it was a beautiful city. Look at Gary, Indiana, Detroit. Look at almost all of our cities, Baltimore. And that could happen to New York City very soon. In fact, it will. I have a child who lives here. Called me today. I was like, I'm leaving. Not an ideological person. It's just like we know where this is going because it's happened in dozens and dozens. In fact, it's happened to almost every single big city we have. And now it's happening to our biggest city. And it's just the greatest tragedy. And I feel like
it 100% is our greatest tragedy. And you know what? I've been hearing this story time and again ever since yesterday, and it's terrible. But Mamdani is hitting a nerve that even Republicans can't shake off. Speaker Mike Johnson today was dismissing people's worries as grocery prices still haven't come down. Take a look at this.
As reported, and all of the economists have shown, food prices always go up. There's an inflationary level that's built into grocery prices, but they're going up at a much slower pace. In other words, the economic policies, even though all the provisions of the Working Families Tax Cut have not yet been implemented, that's going to make a dramatic effect. It's going to be like jet fuel to the economy. We have all these pro-growth policies that will bring down costs, increase wages, increase jobs, and more access to the economic rung so that more people can climb up the ladder.
So as a reporter was trying to sound the alarm that many people today just don't feel as secure whenever they're thinking about their grocery budget because things have still not come down. And this isn't like a gotcha moment. This wasn't even something that's supposed to be like left versus right. It's actually just a issue that normal people are facing. Look at the latest poll from Fox News. Most people say that groceries and utilities are more expensive than they were last year. So this is a war that Mamdani is actually winning because look at how he responded to this clip that I just shared from Mike Johnson. He writes, in 2024, Republicans promised to lower the cost of groceries. In 2025, they're shrugging it off, saying food prices always go up. For too long, government's failure to deliver has been treated as inevitable. My administration will prove that government can work for you. President Trump is even asked about this topic, but he does give a response that's very similar to Speaker Johnson's, which is a response that Marjorie Taylor Greene does not agree with. Look at what he says.
And she says she is retired in Greensboro, North Carolina. She is a registered Republican all her life. She voted for you 3 different times. But she is not happy about how her prices have not come down that she sees. And she said this, quote, I want the Republicans to keep control of Congress in 2026, but something has to be done fast. I don't see the best economy right now. Wall Street numbers do not reflect my Main Street money. Please do something, President Trump. So I guess what do you say to Regina and people like her?
Well, I do say this, beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. You know, it's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down. And think of this, energy. She drives a car, probably, and her energy prices are way I think of groceries. You know, it's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down. And think of this, energy. She drives a car, probably, and her energy prices are way down. And energy is so all-encompassing. It's so big that when energy goes down, everything comes down. Everything follows it. And I have energy down to 5-6-year lows now.
You think prices are coming down from this?
I believe that. Yeah, I think they're coming down, but I think
the problem is when you look at certain indicators, the health of the economy begins to change. Because while it's true that energy costs could ease some inflation, it doesn't make eggs cheaper overnight. And another weird problem is that both sides are kind of claiming credit for prices that haven't come down yet. Mamdani is saying, trust the government, it'll happen. And Trump is saying, trust the energy, it'll happen. But regular people who don't want to do any of that, the regular people who are just going to a grocery store to spend regular money, and they're just trying a budget, they're feeling like they're kind of being squeezed here. And they're just curious what's going to happen. They're curious about the future. I feel like the only person who really understands what's happening right now is actually Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she does disagree with the president on this issue. Check it out.
The president says there's virtually no inflation and that grocery prices are going down. Do you agree with him on that?
No, I go to the grocery store myself. Grocery prices remain high. Energy prices are high. My electricity bills are higher here in Washington, D.C. at my apartment, and they're also higher at my house in Rome, Georgia, higher than they were a year ago. So affordability is a problem, and I'm a mom. My kids are 22, 26, and 28. That's the generation I worry about the most, and they're having a very hard time. But when I go back home and I talk to many of my constituents, I'm hearing stories of not only are we having a really hard time affording groceries and rent and things like that, but I'm also hearing stories about people maxing out their credit cards just to afford their monthly expenses.
So when the president says that it's not that affordability hasn't been fixed, it's that people and Republicans aren't talking about it enough. That seemed to be a takeaway of his from Tuesday night's elections. Mm-hmm. You disagree with that sentiment? I
think Tuesday was definitely a referendum on how leaders in this country are leading. And I believe in America First policies. That's why I campaigned for President Trump and have supported him as long as I have, and I do support him. But I want all of my colleagues to come through in action in supporting America First policies. And I think the American people showed that on Tuesday. You're not going to convince them to go to the polls and vote by bailing out Argentina. And you're not going to convince them to go to the polls and vote by continuing to fund foreign wars and foreign countries and foreign causes. You're going to get them to go to the polls and vote when you show up to work and actually fix the problems that they face every single day.
So here's my question. Have grocery prices come down for you? Do you agree with President Trump? Or are you part of the 70% who are starting to feel it in the grocery store? Do you believe that things are still expensive, from groceries to utilities to healthcare to housing? That's a big one. Tell me how you feel about all this, all right? Because this isn't just politics. This is all about people, all right? People who are really feeling the pain, people who are still trying to decide what future they want to vote for, especially as we near 2026. So please let me know how you feel about all this, because I do know that this is a very, very important conversation. All right. And hey, if you made it this far, please like, subscribe, turn on the bell, all that jazz. And we'll see you all next time. Episode's over already. Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.